Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday. Can't believe we're halfway through January, but we're still talking about New Year, new vibe. New Year, new vibes. Good morning, Gail. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me on this. I don't even know if what's the temperature outside. Houston in January, it's 51. It could be 81, but I'll take the 51. I wasn't sure, but I was a little chilly when I got up this morning, so I was like, okay, it must be cool outside. I'll put a turtleneck on. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Instagram. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate y'all. Good to see you again, Lisa, G, and Wholesome Life. Good morning, Miss Crystal. Wholesome Life, Tim Fash. I hope I'm saying those wrong, but forgive me if I'm not. I appreciate y'all so much for joining me. Sometimes I forget to introduce myself because I'm so busy saying hi to our regulars. So welcome to the Maison 276 community. My name's Angel, and I'm the founder of Maison 276 and creator of the award-winning three-step system for silver, gray, and blonde hair, designed to brighten, cleanse, and rejuvenate the natural brilliance of your hair without purple dyes. So I hop on every Friday morning just to chit chat with the community. Sometimes we talk about hair, but not necessarily. Sometimes we talk about fashion, fitness, wellness. And last week we had such a fantastic conversation. We started with whether we were either restarting or relaunching. I can't even remember the exact title, but it really morphed into a wellness conversation about perimenopause and menopause, which I actually love about this community. I love that you guys share and you're authentic and transparent. And we had so many great tips that were put in the chat. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. And a lot of people, good morning, Nidella. A lot of people continue to join in the conversation over on YouTube. As you know, when after we finish live, you can tell I haven't had any coffee. I always post it up on YouTube so other members in the community can watch the live after we finish. And there was a lot of engagement around that. So thank you guys so much for your transparency and for sharing. So I wanted to kind of continue that whole New Year, new vibe thing. One of the things in the new year, one of the most common resolutions, and I don't even like to use that word, but I'll use it for the purposes of our conversation this morning. One of the most common resolutions people make are fitness resolutions and, ways to stay fit, whether it's losing weight or being more active. And they're great, but oftentimes, by the end of the year, or even mid-year, those goals and those aspirations have kind of fallen on the way, along the way. And so I wanted for us to chat about what's one small thing that you're doing to move more in 2025, and what are some tips that you either are using now or have used in the past to stay motivated and to stay engaged in your own fitness journey. And I always like to start with being transparent. I told you guys in November, December, I had really fallen off the wagon, wasn't really working out very much. And so I committed to, instead of going back to my 5 days a week, I committed to, I'm 3 days. Like, I got to get started, and I'm starting with those 3 days. And so I did hit that goal last week, even with a Saturday morning workout, and I normally don't work out on the weekends. So that is one thing that I'm doing. The other is that, and this is in conjunction with a book that was recommended to me last summer that I'm just getting to reading, and it's called The Miracle Morning. And I'm only on like chapter 2. But one of the first recommendations is to wake up an hour early to reset your day. And I'm already a morning person, but I'm not a morning exercise person. And so I am using that extra day hour to exercise to make sure that I get it in, because what was happening as I've gotten busier and busier with the new project and exciting news that I'm going to tell you about in a few weeks, I was finding that I wasn't getting my workouts in the afternoon, because I typically like to do it at the end of the day. You know, that was kind of my way to kind of release stress or whatever, but I just wasn't doing it. So I have gotten up an extra hour early, and I've gotten in my 3 workouts this week. So it's actually working. And so my goal is just to continue that. And I'm taking it in like 4-week chunks. And so for your whatever resolution that you have in terms of your fitness goals, is I would, even though you're thinking about it holistically, a lifestyle change, I would say break that up into chunks. Like for this 4 weeks, this is what I'm going to do. For this 4 weeks, this is what I'm going to do. And I think it makes it manageable. And I also think you give yourself some small victories to celebrate, which I think is so, so important. Sometimes, especially as it relates to weight loss, you know, I'm going to lose 30 pounds by whatever. And you do a lot of work and you do a lot of sacrifices, and then you do like, oh, I only lost 2 pounds, and you get discouraged. So I would say to break those goals up into sizable, achievable portions, and then reward yourself and give yourself grace and give yourself credit. So that's what I've done. So I want to know what you guys are doing. What's one small step you're taking to move more in 2025? So let's chat. Well, thank you. Good morning, Nidella. Thank you. I appreciate it. So if you're just hopping on, our topic, well, first of all, welcome to Coffee with Angel. Welcome to the Maison 276 community. And our topic for today is, you know, one small step that you're doing to move more, to be more active in 2025. And I got this topic from, I did a community poll on YouTube to see what people were really focusing on for 2025. And one of them was decluttering, which surprised me, but I thought it was great. So I actually did create a vlog on how to declutter your closet. But I think those tips can work in other areas of your life or other areas of your home. So feel free to hop on YouTube and check that out. And then the second one was to be more physically active. And so that's what's prompting today's topic. So I'd love to know what your hacks are, what your goals, your fitness goals are, and how you are achieving those. I feel like you need to break it up into, like, instead of saying, this is what I'm doing for 2025, this is what I'm doing for January. And then at the end of January, assess, and then maybe expand upon that, or just give yourself credit for meeting your goals. And then move on to February. Okay, great. Nidella, I love you, sister, because I can always count on you to hop in these messages, hop in these DMs. So Nidella says, I have to work out first thing in the morning. I must be very intentional about it so that it happens later in the day if I don't do it in the morning. But morning is best for me. Right. Well, I had to pivot. And I know a lot of people are very good about, like, they get their morning workout in because they feel like if they don't do it in the morning, it won't happen. And I have just gotten to that point. I didn't used to be that way. So I've definitely had to pivot and adjust. I've had to adjust. And so far, so good. I'm 1 week in. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Good morning, Berna. Good morning. Good morning, Tammy. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So I'd love to know what you guys, good morning, Mary. Thank you so much. Oh, let's see. Darlene, the Amazon leather dress. I bought all three. So Darlene is talking about, I did a vlog, a Amazon haul. I don't know, was it a haul? I just talked about some pieces that I found that I love that were super, super affordable and so beautiful. And there were some leather dresses that were under $50. They are so, so good. So, Darlene, I know you are enjoying them. Have a great time. And because they're sleeveless, you can wear them like well into the spring, like well into the spring because they're sleeveless. So that's another great thing. You know, I love an item that I can wear for multiple seasons. So good for you. Yay. Completely got off track, but it don't take much for me when it comes to clothes and shopping and fashion, especially when it's a good deal. So congrats. I had one person. Oh, okay. I love a good music playlist. Okay, we're back to our tips. Tammy says she loves a good music playlist to get her going with her morning workout. Yes, absolutely. You got to have the music. You got to have the music. Because sometimes if I'm on the trail, whether I'm walking or just doing a jog, and my earpods go out, they're kind of old. So I think that's part of it. It's like I'm like I can't move without the music. I'm just I remember back in the day when our kids don't know nothing about this, the Walkman, and you had that disc inside there. Or look, I can tell you about the Walkman when there was an 8-track tape inside there. Like I've had all the versions, right? And I'm telling you, if I forgot it one time in the car, maybe I felt like I couldn't even work out without the music. So, Tammy, you are so right. Like the music is everything. Maybe it's a distraction, maybe it's a motivation, maybe it's all of the above, but I got to have the music. Got to have the music. Absolutely. Great tip. Great tip. Good morning, Silk One. Good morning, One Vanna. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If you're just joining us, we're talking about how to stay motivated for our 2025 fitness routines or our 2025 fitness resolutions. What hacks are you using? What tips are you using to stay motivated? Or you can even share your goals or things that have worked in the past. On this platform, we share and we there's no gatekeeping. We share all the challenges, we share all the good information. One of the things that I think, if you're last week, there was a lot of talk about the weight gain during perimenopause and menopause, and that is absolutely real. And I think one thing that helps with that is maybe tweaking. If you're someone who is already active, but find that you are still gaining weight during perimenopause and menopause, one thing that is helpful to kind of jumpstart, I don't want to say the weight loss, but yes, is to tweak your fitness routine, add something different. For me, that was incorporating light weights because I'd always been a runner and I was still gaining weight. And so that really simple thing, and I'm not talking about being in the gym, lifting, I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about literally implementing a 10-minute workout 3 times a week. So I add that after my cardio with light weights, which for me are just some 5-pound dumbbells, barbells. I always forget what you call them. And then also implementing 10 minutes of core work. And those were two things that I never used to do because the running just kind of took care of everything. So if you find that your normal exercise routine isn't helping you with that perimenopause or menopause weight gain, I would say look at adding a little bit of weight bearing exercises. Plus, we also need that as we mature because it helps with our bone density, it helps with our bone health, and also doing a little bit of core work. 10 minutes, that's all I do because those are things that I'm not prone to do anyway, but I can convince myself to do 10 minutes of those, and I found them to be helpful. So I want to hear some more in the chat. You guys know I don't want to just do all the talking. I'm happy to share the hacks that have worked for me, but what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for the other person. I will say also, I would encourage you to not always attach weight loss or those, the scale to your success, because oftentimes when we engage in a fitness routine, especially if it's new, we may be losing fat and gaining muscle mass, but the number on the scale may not change. So don't be so beholden to the scale. I probably get on the scale maybe 4 or 5 times a year. I don't like her very much. I rather go by how my clothes fit. That's a better indicator for me if I feel like I'm, gaining weight or whatever. But the scale can sometimes not be the best indicator of whether you're moving forward in your fitness goals, because you might be gaining muscle mass. Okay, so that's important to know. You guys are quiet this morning. Hello over there on Instagram. Good morning, Carolyn Denise, or Carolyn Dennis. Sorry, I had to take a sip. If you guys are just joining us, we're just talking about ways to stay motivated during, if we have taken on a new resolution to be more active during the 2025. Renee says she's doing more walking in the morning and she feels much better. Absolutely, Renee. And that you bring up another great point of having other goals and other ways to monitor your success. That's what I'm trying to say. There are so many other ways to monitor your success beyond just what the scale says, and you feel better because you have more energy. So that's and you probably are sleeping better as well. So those are all ways to monitor your success that don't have anything to do with the scale. Berna says she's got to get back into her routine. She fell off the wagon, but she's going to start working out in the morning, and she loves doing yoga. Yoga is great. And I'll be honest with you, Berna, I have fallen off the yoga train. Like, I need to get back in that. One of the things that I had started doing was adding like a 5 or 10 minute meditation or set at the end of my workout. And for whatever reason, I just, you just get busy and it's like, okay, now I got to go on to do the next thing. And so I do need to add that back because it is very, very calming. Or just using that same exercise like in the middle of the day is also helpful. So that's one thing I have to get back to doing. So even if I don't add it at the end of my morning workout, I can kind of do it in the middle of the day, which I need to do, especially if you're someone who works from home like me. We sit a lot. And so I have to like build in moments of movement, really. Because I find when I don't do that, my back gets so stiff. And so I actually have to build in moments of movement. And sometimes when I get up to say like eat my breakfast or eat, I will actually stand up to eat just so that I'm not sitting down again. And so we all fall off the wagon, honey, from time to time. We all fall off the wagon. The thing is to not stay off the wagon, to get back up. That's the thing. But we all do from time to time. You guys are quiet over there on Instagram. Let's see. What are some? We talked about small. So measuring success in ways that, excuse me. Measuring success in ways that have nothing to do with the scale. Breaking your goals down into small bite-sized segments. So instead of saying, I want to, it's okay if you have, and I'm just using 20 pounds as an example. It's okay if you have a 20-pound weight loss, but how about breaking that up, right? So 2 pounds this month, 2 pounds the next month. By the middle of the year, by summer, you're halfway through your goal, because we also know, if we're going to talk about weight loss, the slow, consistent way is the best, which is why crash diets don't work, because it's not sustainable. You can't eat grapefruit only for the rest of your life. And I just use that as an example. Good morning, Della. Just tuning in. Happy Friday. So, Della, this morning we are, first of all, thank you for joining us. And this morning we are talking about tips, tricks, hacks to get our fitness routine started in 2025, how to move forward and make a plan for being more active, and also how to give yourself grace, break your goal down into bite-sized steps, bite-sized moments, so that you have little small victories all along the way. Good morning, Regine. Good morning. Regine's doing her 10K steps a day. That's great. And that brings up a great point, Regine, because we have technology now that can help us and give us credit for the stuff we used to not be able to monitor, right? Especially if you're someone who moves around, you're on the go, you're walking all the time, then you have your watch. Even if you don't have a smart watch, your phone measures your steps. And so if you're not at 10K, start with 1,000. And then you get to 1,000, and then your goal is 2,000, and then it's 3. So again, bite-sized, small, manageable, and then giving yourself, I'm a big fan of giving yourself opportunities to celebrate your progress. Berner asks, what method of meditation am I using? I use the version of yoga that's kind of like meditation. It's called restorative yoga. And I was introduced to that, frankly, through my Peloton bike, because they do more than just cycle. And so the restorative yoga is very, it's not fast, it's very slow, and you stay in a movement, or a pose, I should say, for an extended period of time. So it kind of, you're not like constantly moving back and forth. You might hold a pose for maybe like 60 seconds or even longer, depending on how long the workout is. And so for me, that's been like a form of meditation, because I'm not moving. And the prompts are about deep breathing. And so that's kind of how I'm calling that meditation. But if you have something that you recommend, honey, drop it in the chat so I can share it with everybody. Because if you're on YouTube or Facebook, I can put that up here on the screen. Tammy says she loves to walk as well. It gives her time to meditate on God's word and makes her feel better. That's that energy. Healthy eating and exercise. It is a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle. It can start as a goal, it can start as a resolution, but the big win is really when it becomes a part of your daily routine. That truly, Tammy, you hit the nail on the head. That's it. When it becomes a lifestyle and it's not something that you have to think about. And that's kind of how I like with my plant forward diet. And I use that word intentionally because I'm not a vegan or vegetarian, but I have a very plant forward diet. And it was very, very small changes, really over the course of over a year. So now I don't really even think about it. Like I just put almond milk in my coffee. Like I don't think about not using, regular milk, or vegan butter spreads instead of regular butter. I use regular butter very, very little. And so those are things that over time, right? Not all at once. Not all at once. Great, great, great. Good morning, osteopath. Okay, I tried to say it but good morning. I see you. Good morning, S Payne 325, Lady Box Back Cars. Now I know how the Peloton instructors feel. They're trying to do shout outs, but sometimes they'll get something and they're like, they rather not say it than mess it up badly. So that's why sometimes I'll say part of your handle because I don't want to mess it up. Good morning to all of you over on Instagram. Good morning. Okay, guys. Well, you know what I always say, just enough time for us to have our first morning brew. I'll be honest with you. I'm missing my coffee. I'm not doing coffee in January. No caffeine. So what I've been having as an alternative, yes, tea. I really like hibiscus tea. I'll drink a lot of tea in the afternoon, but in the morning I start with a mixture of oat milk and almond milk. I put a lot of nutmeg in it, and then I will put. So I make this nut butter is made with dates. It's basically dates sauteed in some water for a little bit, and then I put it in the food process in the bullet, and it becomes like this date butter. That's what it's called. And I use that to sweeten oatmeal, almost any kind of food. But I will put it in my almond and soy milk. So it gives me something warm and comforting to drink in the morning. It's not coffee, but it's warm and comforting. And it almost has a kind of eggnoggy vibe to it because of the nutmeg, but it's not heavy. So that's what I've been drinking this January. But I am very, very much looking forward to my coffee in February. So if you're just joining us, the Coffee with Angels are always loaded up on YouTube afterwards. So you can catch all the comments and conversation. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Remember, the content is driven by your comments and recommendations. So please feel free, even after we finish, to drop in a comment about future topics, not only for Coffee with Angel, but also for YouTube. And I often forget to put my YouTube handle in there. So I'm going to put it right now. It is my name. That's my YouTube handle. How to accessorize your life. Oh, accessorize your life. That's your tag. I thought you were asking me to do content on that because, honey, I need to get better at accessorizing. But I love that. Accessorize your life. Tell me more. Tell me more. But you can find all of the previous Coffee with Angels as well as any of the YouTube content at Angel U Cornelius. I had to drop my maiden initial in there because apparently there was somebody else on Facebook, another Angel Cornelius. But anyway, that's it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you so much, and having a fantastic Friday, and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and enjoy football. If you're a football fan, we're getting close to Super Bowl. Super Bowl is in my hometown this year of New Orleans. So there's that. More details to follow. But you guys take care, and I'll see you next Friday on Coffee with Angel. Bye.